light, and its link to consciousness, surreal science. In the quiet depths of the mammalian brain, a hidden luminescence flickers, a secret language of light that has only recently begun to reveal itself to science. This discovery, as ethereal as it is profound, suggests that our neurons may not only communicate through electrical impulses and chemical signals, but also through delicate whispers of light. These biophotons, as they are called, span a spectrum from near-infrared to violet, painting the brain's inner workings in hues invisible to the naked eye. Could this be the key to understanding consciousness itself? And might this light hold the answers to mysteries that have haunted humanity for millennia? Questions about the nature of the spirit, the soul, and the very essence of what it means to be alive. The story of biophotons and their potential role in consciousness is not a sudden revelation, but the culmination of centuries of scientific inquiry, each step building on the curiosity and ingenuity of those who came before. It is a tale woven through time, illuminated by the work of pioneering researchers who dared to explore the boundaries of light, life, and the mind. The journey begins in the early 20th century with the work of Alexander Gurwitsch, a Russian biologist who first proposed the idea of mitogenetic radiation in 1923. Gurwitsch observed that onion roots seemed to emit a faint ultraviolet light that could stimulate growth in neighboring roots. Though his findings were met with skepticism at the time, Gurwicz's work laid the groundwork for the concept of biological light emission. His experiments, though rudimentary by today's standards, hinted at a hidden world of cellular communication through photons, a world that would remain largely unexplored for decades. In the 1970s, the field of biophoton research gained new momentum with the work of Fritz Albert Popp, a German physicist who became one of the most prominent figures in the study of biophotons. Popp and his team developed highly sensitive photomultiplier tubes, capable of detecting the faint light emitted by living cells. Their experiments revealed that all living organisms, from plants to humans, emit a low-level glow of biophotons. Popp's groundbreaking studies suggested that this light was not random but coherent, hinting at a potential role in cellular communication and organization. He hypothesized that biophotons might serve as a kind of quantum language, allowing cells to coordinate their activities with remarkable precision. Popp's work inspired a wave of research into biophotons, including studies on their potential role in the brain. In the 1990s, scientists began to investigate whether neurons could produce and transmit light. One notable study, conducted by R. Alfano and his colleagues at the City University of New York, used advanced spectroscopy techniques to detect biophotons in brain tissue. Their findings confirmed that neurons could indeed emit light, particularly in the near-infrared and ultraviolet ranges. This discovery opened the door to the intriguing possibility that the brain might use light as a medium of communication, complementing its electrical and chemical signaling systems. The implications are as fascinating as they are mysterious. If neurons can indeed communicate through light, then the brain might harbor optical channels, a hidden network of luminous signals that operate alongside the familiar electrical and chemical pathways. But what if these biophotons are not merely messengers within the brain? What if they are entangled in the quantum sense with something far greater? Quantum entanglement, that strange and wondrous phenomenon, where particles remain connected across vast distances, suggests that biophotons could be more than just local signals. They might be threads in a cosmic tapestry, linking our minds to realms beyond the physical. Imagine, for a moment, that consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is instead a phenomenon that extends into the universe itself. If biophotons are entangled with other particles, perhaps even with other minds, then our thoughts and awareness might ripple outward, connecting us to a vast, interconnected web of light. This idea resonates with ancient traditions and spiritual teachings, where enlightened beings are often depicted as radiant figures, their heads encircled by halos of light. Could these depictions be more than symbolic? Could they be intuitive glimpses into a deeper truth? That higher states of consciousness are accompanied by an increase in biophoton emission, a literal shining forth of the spirit. More recent studies have delved deeper into the mysteries of biophotons and their potential connection to consciousness. In 2016, a team of researchers led by Dirk Baumeister and Christopher Simon published a theoretical paper exploring the idea that biophotons in the brain could be entangled, linking them to the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. Their work suggested that if biophotons are entangled, they could facilitate instantaneous communication between neurons, potentially explaining the brain's ability to process information with such speed and efficiency. This hypothesis, though still speculative, bridges the gap between quantum physics and neuroscience, offering a new lens through which to view the nature of consciousness. Parallel to these scientific advancements, experiments have also explored the differences in biophoton emission across species. For instance, studies comparing rat and human brains have revealed striking disparities. While rat brains emit approximately 1 biophoton per neuron per minute, human brains appear to produce over 1 billion biophotons per second. This dramatic difference has led researchers like Marco Bischoff and Jiansheng Zhang to speculate that higher biophoton emission might correlate with more complex cognitive functions and perhaps higher states of consciousness. These findings echo ancient depictions of enlightened figures whose radiant halos might symbolize an elevated emission of biophotons, a literal and metaphorical shining forth of the spirit. The implications of these studies extend beyond the confines of the brain. In 2018, a team led by Nobuo Yamaguchi at Tohoku University in Japan explored the idea that biophotons might play a role in intercellular communication throughout the body. Their research suggested that biophotons could act as a unifying force, coordinating the activities of cells and tissues in ways that transcend traditional biochemical pathways. This idea aligns with the hypothesis that consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is a distributed phenomenon woven into the very fabric of our being. As we piece together the puzzle of biophotons, we are reminded of the words of Albert Szent-Györgyi, the Nobel Prize-winning biochemist, who once said, "Life is nothing but an electron, looking for a place to rest." Perhaps in the light of biophotons, we are witnessing something even more profound, a glimpse into the quantum underpinnings of life itself. The studies of Gurwitsch, Popp, Alfano, Simon, and countless others have brought us to the brink of a new understanding, one that blurs the line between science and spirituality, between the physical and the metaphysical. The mystery deepens when we consider the role of light in the universe. Light is the fundamental medium through which we perceive reality, the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It is both particle and wave, a duality that mirrors the enigmatic nature of consciousness itself. If biophotons are indeed portals, tiny windows through which our spirit interacts with the physical world, then producing more light, might not only enhance our awareness, but also deepen our connection to a universal consciousness. This light, subtle and invisible, could be the thread that binds us to the cosmos, a luminous echo of the divine spark within us all. As we stand on the threshold of this new understanding, we are left with more questions than answers. What is the true nature of these biophotons? Are they merely the byproducts of biological processes? Or are they the carriers of something far more profound, the essence of consciousness, the light of the soul? And if we learn to harness this light, to amplify it and attune ourselves to its frequencies, what might we discover about ourselves and the universe? The journey into this luminous mystery has only just begun, and the path ahead is illuminated by the faint, flickering glow of 1 billion tiny lights, each one a beacon guiding us toward the unknown.